Hi there everyone, and welcome to episode 2, a little late, of the Sherwood Fiber Arts podcast. I said in episode 1 that I was going to make this a every 2-week podcast, but then a week late because I got sick. So I thankfully had a little bit of crafting time while I have been trying to take it as easy as possible. I'm feeling a lot better now, so. For those who are new, which is probably going to be most of you, my name is Maddie. My pronouns are they, them, and I am the dyer and fiber artist behind Sherwood Fiber Arts, which is a hand-dyed yarn and fiber company based in central Alabama. I live here with my aunt, her dog and cat, and my mouse and praying mantis, who is currently up there getting ready to molt again. So he's going to be an even bigger mantis and might actually show up on camera next time I podcast. He'll be big enough for you to see him. I've left links to all of my social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, my Etsy shop, and the podcast Ravelry group down in the description. All of my show notes are posted in the description here on YouTube down below and also on Ravelry. I want to be as accessible as possible to as many people as possible. And so for those who are still having issues with Ravelry, I wanted to make them available here on YouTube. I will also be posting links to all of the patterns that I talk about, all of the shops where I get bags or yarn or needles or stitch markers or whatever else. Those will be in the show notes as well. Today's tea in my, well, it was originally my aunt's, but I stole it, my Wonder Woman mug. It's different illustrations of Wonder Woman all the way from the 1940s to the 2010s. It's hard for me to pick a favorite. I do love the 90s version. But today's tea is Ahmad Tea Mint Mystique. It's green tea with mint. Let's see if I can find the actual list of ingredients. Yeah, it's just green tea, flavoring, and mint. But it's very good. Okay. That's enough beginning ramblings, I suppose. This will probably be going up on the 10th. Today is Wednesday. Quarantine time is just one big blur. It's fine. It's plus being sick, it's just kind of, I don't know what day it is. I don't know what time it is. It's my brain's a little scrambled. But it is Wednesday, September 9th. But let's move on to some finished objects. I have 2 finished objects, one knitting and one sewing. These I showed, I believe, as a half object, a hoe, last episode. I almost said last semester. Oh my goodness. My brain still thinks that I should be in school right now, which technically I would be, but I'm taking a semester off because of, the big bad virus and focusing on the business and all kinds of things. So last episode, I showed you guys these as a hoe. These are the Stegona socks by Melina Hammy. They are a simple eyelet sock pattern that have occasional dog hair on them. This is a mini skein from my tropical mini skein sets, and this is a colorway that I called Cupcake. So yeah, they're just some simple ankle socks. I did a 1x1 twisted rib finished. They need to be blocked and then sent off to my friend. And the second finished object that I have, I finished the sewing part of this months and months ago and then completely forgot that it existed and found it while I was cleaning my room, which is still a work in progress, but there's yarn and fabric and stuff everywhere. The parts of my room that you can't see look like a combination shipping center and like a bomb went off in a yarn store. But anyway, I made a project bag. It's this wonderful dinosaur fabric that I got at Walmart. I think I also got the contrast and the lining fabric at Walmart. And I don't remember the pattern that I used for this, but I'm sure that I think this is one of the ones that I cut out wrong and then boxed the bottom wrong. So instead of a boxed bottom, it's just got chopped off corners. I don't know what I was thinking. But it's still a perfectly functional sock size project bag, and it has dinosaurs on it, which always makes things better. The ties are Knit Picks Dishie in the colorway Douglas Fir, which is this very dark green. I just braided 3 strands of that together. And I'll show you what's inside that in a little bit. That was sewn on I've got my notes on my phone sitting on top of my laptop. Sewn on my 1950 Singer sewing machine. It's a 301A, and her name is Mabel. Alright, so I have one half object, which is related to the Stigona socks that I just showed you. It's the same fabrics. This is the Blueberry Waffle sock by Sandy Turner. These are a little bit small. I am going to have to lengthen the foot a little bit, but this is a very stretchy pattern. And the friend that I'm knitting this for, I don't know his foot size exactly, so I wanted to do a pattern that was nice and stretchy and that I knew was going to fit no matter what. Like I said, this is the Blueberry Waffle sock in the same 2 colorways that the Stigona socks were knit with. I'm knitting these on my Knitter's Pride Karbonz. These are the 2.25 millimeter size. I believe these are the 6-inch DPNs. And that is a US 1, I believe. So I just started the heel flap on the second one. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be very glad when these are finished because I'm getting kind of tired of this yarn, but they're for friends that I love, so it's worth it. And my stitch marker, my little, what's that called? A Succulent from Scarlet Stitchcraft. And they're in my Blue Dragon bag from Bags by KC. I talked more in depth about the Bags by KC bags last episode. If you want to go back and watch that one. I also have an identical red dragon bag. But I love my dragon bags. I'm a bit of a nerd. Let's see, what is next on my notes? Okay, more socks. I promise I am actually knitting things that aren't socks this time. I like socks. These are some vanilla socks. And one of my colorways, Toffee. And I believe there's still 2 skeins of this in the shop when I'm recording this. I'm not going to show you the stitch marker because it's a spoiler for my Halloween mystery boxes, which the sock boxes are about halfway sold out, so if you want one of those, I'd get on it. Those are shipping out October 5th, I believe. Right. This is just a plain 72 stitch vanilla sock, 20 rounds of 2x2 rib on my Licca driftwood needles. My very long, I'm knitting these magic loop, which is a little new for me. I've knit one full pair of magic loop socks before. I mostly knit on DPNs, so it's taking some adjustment, but so far it's going pretty well. I don't really have any laddering going on that I can tell. What like stitch discrepancy there is will block out, so I'm not too worried. But yeah, these are my Toffee vanilla socks. They're in my Fringe Supply Co stash bag with some very cute new pins that I got. I don't remember what company I got them from, but this one says, "Be a nice human." And here you've got a cute little stag beetle and some sushi. Sadly, Fringe Supply has gone out of business. So I got this bag and my Licca needles on clearance in the last few days that they were open. Next up, I have a work in progress that's not a sock. In my beautiful dinosaur bag, let's take the yarn out. I am knitting a Sockhead slouch hat out of some Handspun. This is very sort of crazy looking, but still muted colors, Handspun. The fiber is a pack of fluffy bits and 80% Superwash Merino, 20% nylon from Slothy Creations, which is Lindsay. And this is how it's spun up. A little closer. It's got all kinds of grays and browns and purples, pretty much any color you can think of. And I just I split the bag of fiber in half, and I spun a 2-ply and just kind of spun it randomly so that you got a lot of barber poling and just random color combinations. So these are on my Knitter's Pride Karbonz 3mm 8-inch DPNs. I really like the Karbonz. They are light without being bendable like something like bamboo. I'm a big fan. I found these on Amazon for like $10, which is half off roughly what they usually cost. But yeah, and that is once again in my brand new Dinosaur Project Bag. My last work in progress is not a tube. It's a shawl, which is very unusual for me. I usually crochet shawls when I do make them. I haven't gotten very far on this one. It kind of looks like a Godzilla tail. Yeah. But this is the Chasing Blizzard shawl by Katie I'm not going to try to pronounce her name, but it is in the show notes, I promise. And the main color is Manos del Uruguay Alegria in Moscow. I'm probably completely butchering that pronunciation, but it's Spanish for moss. It's this lovely moss green, kind of subtly tonal, semi-solid green. Here's the cake. It's gotten a little messy. This is on another Licca needle. It's the 3mm. I think this one's a 40-inch. I believe this color of the Allegria is discontinued because I couldn't find it on their website. But if you would like to see if you can find it on like someone's Ravelry stash, you can definitely try that. The contrast color is Desert Panda Fiber Arts. This is Kristen's yarn. This is the color Hedge Witch. It's on 80/20 sock. And I absolutely love this color. It's, I believe I showed this to you last episode in Stash Acquisitions. But it's white and light sort of driftwood brown with green and orange and plum speckles. And it's so soft and squishy. A lot like the Allegria. And so here's the two side by side. I'm usually a dark or bright color kind of person, and so I thought it would be nice to have a shawl that was just more muted and neutral while still having some fun color. And that is in my bag, a little tote bag that's covered in dog hair and whatnot. From Zany Crafts UK. If you don't like slightly off-color sort of somewhat snarky humor, maybe this is not the bag for you. But it says, "I have sharp sticks and a lot of balls. Be afraid." But yeah, it's the lettering is metallic gold on a black bag. I have another bag from her that's a like white cotton drawstring bag that says Maddie's ball sack. So I'll have to find that and put a project in it and show you guys next time. Alright, that's all that I've really been working on. Most of the projects that I showed you guys last episode I haven't touched. I haven't looked at my virus shawl. The handspun I was working on is about halfway plied. So I will try to get that plied up and soaked and dried and have some actual spinning to show you guys next time. What I do have is some stash enhancement. Between last episode and this one, there was a Woolen Fiber Arts sale weekend. Not everything I got was from vendors from that, but some of it was. So yeah, if stash enhancement is not your cup of tea, then I will put timestamps on the screen and down below for the end of that segment. I know not everyone wants to see me show off everything that I bought. It's not a whole lot, but... And a good bit of it I do actually have projects in mind for. Like this one. This is my recent purchase from Knit Picks. This is 2 balls of their palette fingering weight, which is 100% Peruvian Highland wool. And I got one ball of the Oyster Heather, which is this sort of dark cream color. One ball of, what's this one called? Stellar Heather, which looks black on screen, but in real life it has sort of red and purple and gray heathery bits, which gives it a bit more visual interest. And yeah, I really like how these two look together. The pattern that I bought these for is the X-ray mittens or gloves by another designer whose name I'm not going to attempt to pronounce because I will mess it up. I'll put that on the screen as well. And yeah, they're a colorwork pattern which is like a skeleton hand, and it was shared in the Greater Birmingham Fiber Guild Ravelry group by one of my friends, and they said that they had me in mind when they shared it, and I'm like, yeah, you know my taste. Give me all the spooky knits. And it's officially spooky season, so I'm going to knit myself some skeleton knits with these. The original sample was knit in black and a stark white, and I wanted something slightly less contrasty and more like muted, I guess. So that is stash enhancement number 1, and I will put the link to the pattern that I bought those for in the description. Next is some really beautiful Wensleydale locks. Let's see if I can pull out just one to show you guys. Not just one, but these are super duper soft. These are from Small Acre Farm. I got an ounce of these. The sheep's name is Marley, and the colorway is Caliente. It's this beautiful sort of chili pepper, orangey, reddy color. And these, and the other thing that I got from Small Acre Farm, which is, I want to show you guys the packaging for this. It's really cute. This is a bat of cashmere in this really beautiful golden yellow color. The colorway is called Golden. And this is also 1 ounce. Yeah, this is cashmere. And these two are going to be blended up with some alpaca, I think, and spun up into a hat. And the cool thing about that fiber, the stuff from Small Acre Farm, is that it's all naturally dyed. So I am very much looking forward to blending those up on my blending board, making some cool rollags and spinning that up. The last bit of stash enhancement I got is this very bright skein of yarn from Furly Shell Fiber Arts. They have a very cute shop in Washington, and they are the Yarn Pirates. This is called Tub Thumping. They did a line of colorways inspired by 90s music, and yeah, this is my skein of Tub Thumping. It's neon yellow, kind of yellowy green, and black, a little bit of white. This is their 80/20 base, awesome sock, 400 yards. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. It may end up part of a shawl, may end up some really bright and fun socks, might end up another Sockhead hat. We'll see. But it's super soft and squishy. Lately I've really been loving 80/20 sock yarn. My sock base for the shop is a 75/25, and it's a little thinner and not as squishy, but I've really been enjoying knitting 80/20 bases, so I may have to look into getting some for the shop. There are still some widespread yarn shortages at the moment because the supply chain's a little disrupted still, but that may be more of a long-term goal. Our next Waffle sale is September 20 something. I think it's the 25th through the 27th. If that is incorrect, I will put that on the screen. I will leave all of the Waffle links to our Facebook, Instagram, and website down below. But yeah, I will be vending Sunday the 27th, I believe, at 5:30 p.m. not Eastern time, 5:30 p.m. Central time, 6:30 Eastern. And yeah, the theme for this month is party. And I realized about a week ago that I have been dyeing as like a professional job for 6 months. So we're going to have a little 6-month birthday for Sherwood Fiber Arts. I've ordered special packaging and a banner and streamers. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Lots of sparkly things. I am planning on having a shop update probably tonight. It may be as late as Friday, but I will try to get those up tonight so that the yarn will still be eligible for the sale. In the shop update, I will have probably more stuff depending on what I get dyed tonight. But I have 2 new fiber colorways to show you, 2 new yarn colorways, and some really cool fabrics for face masks. I do have face masks in the shop at the moment. They are $10 each. And I have a lot of really cool vintage fabrics. Alright, this is all of these colorways except one are unnamed. No, 2 are unnamed. Yeah. So this is on merino. This is a 22 micron merino. This one does have a name. This one's on, just a moment. Falkland. I've got all of my undyed yarn and fiber stored behind me. This is on Falkland, and this is called Manic Pixie Dream Sheep. But it's pinks and purples and navy blue. And then the yarn, this one is Conifer. Really beautiful tonal green, kind of a yellowy green with some browns. This one is also unnamed. It's orange and light blue and white. And this is the style of face masks that I make. They have a nose wire and adjustable ear elastics. I'm not going to put this one on because I just did my makeup and I don't want to smudge my lipstick. But this is one of mine, my personal ones. And I have some more vintage fabrics going up, but I wanted to show you guys the Halloween fabrics. This fabric has bats and skulls and birds of all kinds, including owls. And then this one has like spooky trees and bats. So I'm going to get those sewn up and added to the shop. In pattern designing news, the Arvacher socks are still out with test knitters. The deadline for the test knit is the 20th, so hopefully I will continue getting feedback. I've already gotten some amazing suggestions from my test knitters to make the pattern more readable and make more sense. This is my first knitting pattern, so I'm still learning. But this is the Arvacher sock. See all the little stitch markers. But it's got some really neat details. And I'm excited to get that out in time for Socktober. My ring light almost fell over. But yes, that should be out in time for Socktober. We're doing a big Socktober event in the Waffle group, so that's going to be fun. I think I'm going to do a demonstration of how to pick up stitches for the heel decreases. And I will be doing both a traditional like slip stitch edge and a garter stitch edge demonstration. So yeah, lots of really cool stuff going on. I'm also doing a little showcase thing on Saturday for the Greater Birmingham Fiber Guild. It's our annual Fiber Frenzy event that we have every September. Obviously, we're having this one over Zoom, so I can't be in the big kitchen in our meeting space and doing an actual in-person dyeing demonstration, but I'll be doing one in my kitchen if I can get the lighting worked out, and kind of showing people how my process has changed since last year. When I did my demonstration last year, I was still using just a crock pot and food coloring and vinegar, and now I'm still using the crock pot, but I'm also using a big steamer pan, and I've moved to using professional acid dyes. I get mine from Dharma, and citric acid, which gives brighter, more vibrant colors, and lets you do some more advanced techniques. So yeah, I've come a long way in the last year. I am really happy with a lot of the new stuff coming out of the dye pots, and I'm excited to be celebrating 6 years of, not 6 years, oh god, getting ahead of myself. 6 months of dyeing as an actual grown-up job. If you can really call this a grown-up job, I spend all day talking to cool people on social media and turning yarn and fiber fun colors and playing in dye pots, and yeah, sometimes it feels like work, but most of the time it just feels like I'm having fun. So, yeah, I'm hoping to still be doing this 6 months or 6 years down the line and seeing where this adventure takes me. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what I'm doing next September. I guess we've kind of segued into life rambles. There's not a whole lot going on in the garden right now. I have just taken out a lot of the summer stuff. The watermelon, sadly, my little watermelon that was growing got a hole punctured in it when the guy came by to do pressure washing. He moved my entire garden around without asking, so that was kind of not great. But yeah, he cost me a watermelon. The cucumbers that I planted never made any cucumbers, so I took those out. They were getting diseased and not looking very happy. And I took out the zucchini, same thing there. They were just not looking great. They survived their run-in with pickle worms, but never quite recovered. So in their place, I'm planting fall crops. I just planted a whole bunch of little gem lettuce and some Japanese giant red mustard and some broccoli. And so yeah, it was so satisfying just dumping an entire packet of lettuce seeds into a container. Now, if I wanted to grow like full-on heads of lettuce, that wouldn't be nearly enough space to give each individual plant, but I just want them for the like little baby greens. So yeah. I was gonna get out and do some more planting today, but I was not feeling up to it. I'm still on the mend from whatever the heck had me out of commission the last like 4 days. So what do I have pulled out to plant? Peas and carrots, and actually I can just reach over here and show you guys the varieties that I have picked out to plant out. I have 2 different kinds of kale, the dwarf blue curled kale and the dinosaur kale that I just dropped on the floor. I already have a couple of seedlings of these growing, but now that I have a little bit more room, I can plant more. For carrots, I've got this rainbow mix from Fairy Morse. It's got, let's see, Atomic Red, Bambino Orange, Black Nebula, Cosmic Purple, Lunar White, and Solar Yellow. I also have some Chantenay red core carrots from Baker Creek. These are just like a shorter orange carrot. I've also got this really cool pink plume celery. It's a Chinese variety of celery that's a little bit smaller than our standard celery. And it's like this purpley pink color. I'm also going to be planting another round of radishes. I'm going to be taking the French breakfast radishes out that I planted in June, I think, for the radish greens. They've actually produced radishes, some of them, which was nice. But I'm going to be planting these Saxa 2 radishes from Baker Creek. These are said to be ready in like 18 to 20 days, so hopefully I will be able to succession sow those and get a lot of radishes, since I've discovered that I actually like them. I've got 2 different kinds of peas, the Mammoth Melting Sugar Snow Pea, again from Baker Creek, and another purple variety. I like unusually colored vegetables. If there's a black or pink or purple variety of something that I want to grow, I'm going to get the blue one, or the purple one. Alright, these are the blue shelling snow peas. These you can, these are from my gardener. You can harvest those either early as a snow pea or later as a shelling pea. I'll probably be growing them as snow peas, just because you get more volume that way. With peas and beans, the more you harvest, the more that they will produce. So if you harvest them earlier, then you'll get more beans or peas or whatever. Yeah, that is my rambling about what I'm planting in the next few days. My beans are still producing. I'm still getting some dragon tongue bush beans. Oh gosh, what's the other variety that I planted called? The Canter beans are not producing as much, but I'm hoping as the weather kind of cools off a bit, they will catch up production-wise. Yeah, it looks like the dragon tongues are just more heat tolerant. The Canters that I have gotten have been a lot smaller and just honestly kind of dinky. And there's only been like 3 of them. Meanwhile, I've gotten like 2 big handfuls of the dragon tongues. So yeah, that's what's going on in the garden. I've had a bit of an ant problem, but I got some diatomaceous earth to take care of those. My corn has produced tassels but no silks, so I've had to put bags over their heads to collect the pollen and hopefully be able to keep it viable long enough for the silks to come out. If I don't get any corn this year, that's fine. I grew corn plants, which is farther than I've gotten any other year. I'm getting more okra. I think I've gotten 3 so far, but there's more buds and more flowers opening up every day. So I'm excited for some okra. Again, I got the weird colored one. I got the Jing orange okra, which is actually more of a burgundy color, at least on my plants. So, yeah. I like having a colorful garden. My herbs are taking off now that it's a little bit cooler. It's been around 90 every day. This weekend it's supposed to rain and get down to like 85, which I'm probably going to do a little happy dance. Here in central Alabama, it stays hot until like October. And when I say hot, I mean like it's 90 degrees some years on Halloween. It's not fun. But hey, we have a really long growing season if we can find plants and varieties that are heat tolerant. Not much going on in D&D news. We haven't started any more dance parties in the jail yard. Yeah, I haven't really had much time for gaming or reading really, which is kind of sad, but I've been busy putting together really cool behind the scenes stuff and dyeing really neat colorways. The shop's a little sparse right now because of the Labor Day sale, so probably going to be working the next couple of weeks to get that restocked and then start stocking up for the next Waffle show. So yeah, I keep busy. I started Sherwood Fiber Arts at the beginning of quarantine to give myself something to do. And now I have many somethings to do. I'm just rambling at this point. I've barely talked the last like 5 days because I've been in my room sick. Thank you for putting up with my nonsensical ramblings about yarn and keeping yourself occupied and plants. I will see you, hopefully, in the next week or so. I'm going to try to get myself on a regular schedule with recording and posting podcasts. Hopefully I won't get sick again. But if I do, it's okay. Sometimes you just got to take some time off to rest and recuperate. Yeah, thank you for joining me, and I will see you all next time. Bye.